Hello my dear students, welcome back to Learn Physics. In today's topic, we are continuing with our electromagnetic induction chapter. Last class we learned about self-induction and mutual induction. Motional EMF also we learned. What was self-induction? Self-induction and mutual induction is coming under the same topic, which is electromagnetic induction. Okay, so self-induction means only one coil will be there. The current carrying coil will be inducing an EMF in itself. That property is called the self-induction. Instead of that, if we are considering two coils and current in one of the coil is changing, that gives an induced EMF in the other coil. So it is between the two coils. Mutual induction is between the two coils. Okay. So mutual induction is the property between the two coils when current induced in one of the coils changes an EMF changes the magnetic flux, which produces an induced EMF in the other coil. That is called a mutual induction. Okay, and mutual induction of two coaxial solenoids. That derivation is there. That formula I am writing down over here. Mutual induction between two coaxial solenoid. That means same axis. The solenoid, the axis is same. See, one over the other like this. Okay. This is coaxial, so both are having the same axis. Coaxial solenoid means it is mu 0 N1 N2 A divided by L. This is the formula to find out the mutual inductance or coefficient of mutual induction of two coaxial solenoids. That is mu 0 N1 N2 A by L. What is N1? Number of turns of the first solenoid. N2 is the number of turns in the second solenoid. A is the area of cross section of the first solenoid. A equals pi R1 square. Okay, why it is only for first solenoid? Because the space between these two solenoids won't be having a magnetic field. So there we should consider only about the first one. Mu 0 N1 N2 A divided by L. A is the area of cross section of the first solenoid, that is inside solenoid. L is the length of the solenoid. Clear? So this is about the mutual induction of two solenoids, which is two coaxial solenoid, which is wound one over the other like that. Okay. So next we are going to study about the AC generator. AC generator. So AC generator is working under the principle of electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction. Okay. So electromagnetic induction means current carrying conductor present in a magnetic field changes if the magnetic flux linked with the circuit changes and EMF is inducing in the coil. Not current carrying conductor and a magnetic flux linked with the circuit changes and EMF is induced in the coil, that is electromagnetic induction. So now we are going to study about the AC generator. AC generator means it will be having a north pole and south pole. A current coil is, a conductor is present here, and here this N rectangular coil A, B, C, D. Okay, and A is connected with a ring R1 and this is connected with the ring R2. D is connected with the R2. Okay, they are called as slip rings. Okay, that full rings. Okay, R1 is connected with the brush B1. R2 is connected with the brush B2. These two are connected with galvanometer. This is the experimental setup. So here while we are rotating this rectangular coil, in presence of a magnetic field. So here magnet is there, north south pole, and here a rectangular coil is there, and the rectangular coil we are rotating. When we are rotating this rectangular coil, ends of the coil is connected with the slip rings, full rings, and each one is connected with the carbon brushes. Okay, and what is the how we can find out what is the working behind it? So this rectangular coil, we are making it to rotate in presence of magnetic field. That is what happening in the case So this rectangular coil is rotating. When the rectangular coil is rotating in presence of a magnetic field, an EMF is inducing over there, or a current is inducing there. How we can find out the value of current? Okay, that one we are going to do now. Here, first step. Suppose if I am rotating the coil AB in the upward direction. Okay, AB is upward. Current is moving in this direction. So, magnetic field is moving in this direction. So, motion of the conductor is in this direction, and magnetic field is from north to south pole. Then how we can find out the direction of induced current? In which direction current will be moving? That one we can find out using Fleming's right hand rule. Fleming's right hand rule. What is Fleming's right hand rule? See, if thumb, forefinger and middle finger in mutually perpendicular direction, and thumb shows the direction of motion of the conductor, and this forefinger represents the direction of magnetic field, then the middle finger will give you the direction of current. Okay, this is Fleming's right hand rule. So using that rule, here I am considering these three fingers in mutually, this is my right hand, and these three fingers in mutually perpendicular direction. Now we are moving AB in the upward direction. Okay, first I am looking at the side only AB in the upward direction. Magnetic field is moving in this direction from left to right. So magnetic field AB upward direction, magnetic field is in this direction. So what will be the direction of current? Current is moving in the upward. See here, if AB upward, AB is coming outside the figure, and magnetic field is moving from north to south, then in which direction the current is moving? Current is moving from A to B. You can see here, like, okay, this one same way I am taking AB in the upward direction. So AB upward, so it is coming outside, magnetic field is moving from north to south, so this current is moving from A to B. A, B, C, D, and the end of D is connected with the R2, and here it is moving from B2 to B1. So current will be from B2 to B1. Okay, current is moving from B2 to B1. Now AB half rotation got over. So after half rotation, so AB, suppose here I am taking this book, and this side is A, B, this is C, D. Okay, A, B, C, D. AB I am moving in the upward direction, and its half rotation is over. Now this side is CD. Right? Now how the diagram will be? I am representing here north, south, and here this is D, C, B, A. Now like this, initially it was like this, A, B, C, D. When it is moving in the upward direction and coming this side will become DC. Okay, so end of D is CD is small one, which is connected to R2 and which is having brush B2. Right, and end of A already connected with the B1, this is R1, it is connected with, it is in contact with the B1. B1 I am keeping it over here only, B1. Okay, this side only B1 was, right? B1 is not moving along with that. Now it is connected with a galvanometer. Only this much portion will be moving. B1 and B2 are just in touch. It is not connected. Okay, it is not attached. It is just in contact or just in touch. That's all. Okay, so when it is rotating, A, B, C, D and this R1 and R2 will be moving. But this R1 and R2, since it is the full ring, this one just rotating like that itself. Okay, now you tell me in the second case, what will happen? So AB is, after half rotation, CD came this side. Okay, we started its motion like this. So now CD came this side and then continuously when we are rotating, now the CD, this direction, this side. In which direction again it is moving? In the upward direction. Now CD is moving in the upward direction. Magnetic field is same here. Then what will be the current? CD is moving in the upward direction. CD is moving in the upward direction. Magnetic field is moving like this. Right? Then current is moving from D to C. When the current is moving from D to C, it will go like this. Now current is moving from, it will reach to A and then A is in connection with R1 and R1 is in touch with B1. So the current will be moving from B1 to B2. Okay, the induced current will be moving from B1 to B2. So at the output we will be getting the current. So our first half rotation current will be from B2 to B1. Then next half rotation current will be moving from B1 to B2. Then in the next half rotation what will happen? It will again moving from B2 to B1, again switching over to B1 to B2. So like this it will be repetitively happening. So that means direction of current is changing after every half rotation. It is changing its direction. Initially it was B2 to B1 and then it became B1 to B2. Like this it will be repeating. Direction of current is repeating or changing after every half rotation. So such kind of current is called alternating current. Okay, so this is the working, how the AC generator is working. Okay, current is changing from B1 to B2 and B2 to B1. Next we are going to study what will be the value of current and how we can represent this current. Okay, so I told you initially we are keeping, see this is north and this is south and here we are keeping the what is that, a rectangular coil. Like this only I told you, right? Now if the say north south pole, see this is north pole and this is, here it is south pole. So current will be moving from this side to this side. So in our the here and all we told, here this side is, left side is north, right? So this is north side and this is south side. Current, the magnetic field is moving from north to south. Here I am keeping, so the magnetic field lines, you imagine magnetic field lines are moving like this. Okay, clear? Now I am keeping the coil like this. First, initially, suppose my coil is present like this. What will be the flux linked with the circuit? Magnetic flux linked with the circuit we will be finding out using the formula B dot A. Okay, what is B dot A? BA cos theta. Okay, what will be the angle between A and B when I am keeping it like this? Here, you should understand magnetic field is in this direction. But this area direction will always be perpendicular to the surface. So in short, magnetic field and area is parallel to each other. Area, when we are observing that, it is just perpendicular like that you will feel, but the direction of this area will be perpendicular to this. So magnetic field and the area vector are acting in the same direction. So here theta will be equal to 0. Okay, we will be getting the maximum flux over there. Cos 0 is 1. Now, what will be the current produced? For that we need EMF, right? E, how we can find out? Minus d phi by dt. Okay, so how we will get BA cos theta? Differentiating, we will get it as, here, what is theta here? Theta is angular rotation, right? So, angular omega t. Angular frequency is velocity into t. Okay, angular velocity equals distance divided by time. So angular displacement divided by time is equal to angular velocity. So angular velocity into time will be equal to angular the displacement. So here we can write it as, instead of theta, BA cos omega t. So d by dt of BA cos omega t. Okay, what is this BA cos omega t represents? See, cos omega t, when we are differentiating, we will get it as BA omega sin omega t, because minus d phi by dt. Cos omega t, when we are differentiating, we will get it as minus sin omega t into omega. We should again differentiate the inside part. So minus NAB omega sin omega t we will get. So if we are considering about this differentiation here, E we will get it as E is equal to minus BA omega minus sin omega t. So minus and minus will get cancelled and we will get it as BA omega sin omega t. Suppose if we are considering n number of turns, it will be equal to NAB omega sin omega t. Okay, here. Now again we are considering omega t is theta, right? So if both are parallel, A and B are parallel to each other, what will be theta? Theta is equal to 0. What will be the EMF induced? EMF induced will be 0. So current also will be equal to 0. Current is equal to 0. EMF induced will be equal to 0 if both are parallel to each other. Okay, maximum flux it is producing, but when it is coming to, see, it was in this position, then after half rotation, see, when it is rotating, what will happen? After that it will come like this, right? So area vector will be perpendicular. When it is after 90-degree rotation, 1/4 of rotation is over. After that, what is happening? It is coming, magnetic field and area vector are perpendicular. When it is perpendicular, what will be the EMF? EMF will be maximum. What will be the maximum EMF here? Maximum EMF will be equal to NAB omega. This is the maximum EMF which we are getting over here. If we are representing the whole thing in the diagram, if theta equals 0, see here, so this is 0, this is 90, this is 180, 270, and here it is 360. So EMF chart, when we are representing, and when theta equals 0, EMF is 0. When this is theta equals 0. This is theta equals 0, EMF is 0. When theta equals 90, EMF is maximum. And when theta equals 180, again it will be 0. 270 it will be maximum. And like this it will be going. Okay, this is the representation of AC generator. So how this is maximum current is getting and maximum EMF how it is producing, that and all understood, right? So this is what about the AC generator. So I hope it is clear for you, and in next class we will be doing some numerical related to this. Okay, so if you like the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Thank you for watching. Bye.